OMAD, after 40, the perfect one meal formula. You can fast for 23 hours and still ruin OMAD in one meal. Not because you are lazy, not because you have no discipline, but because after 40, your one meal has to do a lot more work than you think. It has to feed you. It has to protect muscle. It has to keep you full. It has to avoid a huge glucose crash. And it has to carry your body through the next 23 hours. So if you are doing OMAD, but your belly is still stubborn, your energy is low, and your cravings come back hard, the problem may not be the fasting window. The problem may be how you build the one meal. If this is exactly what you are struggling with, subscribe now, because this video will not tell you to just fast harder. It will show you how to build an OMAD meal after 40, so your body feels supported, not punished. Let's start with the first mistake. Many people think OMAD means, I only eat once, so the meal can be anything. They fast all day, then sit down to one giant plate. Pizza, bread, rice, dessert, sweet drinks, fried food. They tell themselves, it is still one meal. But this is where the problem shows up. After eating, they feel heavy, sleepy, bloated, thirsty, and hungry again. Later, the next day, fasting feels harder. The cravings get louder, and the belly still does not change. Here's the better way to look at it. OMAD is not just a smaller eating schedule, it is a meal design problem. Think of your body like a supermarket after a long quiet shift. When the only delivery of the day arrives, that shipment has to be organized well. If the shipment is chaotic, the whole store becomes chaotic. But if the shipment is built in the right order, the system can work much more smoothly. So the question is not only, how long did I fast? The better question is, can this one meal carry my body for the next 23 hours? The first pillar is protein. After 40, this is where many people get surprised. Many people do OMAD and become smaller, but not firmer. The scale may move, but the body looks softer. The arms look thinner. The shoulders look flatter. The belly is still there, and there is another problem underneath it. They may be losing the very tissue that helps them burn and handle energy, muscle. This matters even more after 40, because the body often becomes less forgiving when protein is too low for too long. A review on protein distribution and muscle-related outcomes reminds us that protein timing and per-meal protein can matter for muscle support, especially when the goal is preserving lean tissue. This does not mean everyone needs the same amount, but it does mean your OMAD meal should not treat protein like decoration. Protein is the repair material. It is the building block. It is the part of the shipment that tells the body, keep the machinery, we still need it. So the first step is simple. Build your OMAD plate around protein first. Eggs, fish, chicken, lean meat, Greek yogurt, tofu, tempeh, lentils, beans. Choose the source that fits your body, culture, digestion, and budget. Do not ask, what is the smallest meal I can survive on? Ask, what meal gives my body enough material to stay strong? The second pillar is fiber and vegetables. Many people on OMAD get constipated. They eat one dense meal, but there is not enough volume, water, fiber, or minerals. And even when they are not constipated, without enough fiber, the meal may not keep them full for long. A few hours later, the brain starts searching for something sweet, crunchy, or easy. Here's the part most people miss. Vegetables are not just healthy extras. In an OMAD meal, vegetables are like the packing material inside the shipment. They add volume. They slow the meal down. They bring potassium, magnesium, folate, polyphenols, and many tiny helpers your body still needs. So after protein, add a large vegetable base, leafy greens, broccoli, cabbage, asparagus, zucchini, mushrooms, peppers, fermented vegetables if they fit you. If your OMAD plate looks tiny but calorie-dense, it may satisfy the math but fail the body. After 40, the goal is not only to eat less, the goal is to eat in a way that the body can actually use. The third pillar is food order. You may be eating the right foods, but still crash after the meal. You feel sleepy, your head feels heavy, you want something sweet after eating, so you start thinking, You think the only solution is to remove carbs completely, but for many people, the issue is not just whether carbs exist, it is when and how they arrive. This is where the science gets interesting. Researchers studying food order found that eating vegetables before carbohydrates reduced post-meal glucose excursions compared with eating carbohydrates first. Another pilot study looking at a typical Western meal found that food order had a significant impact on post-meal glucose and insulin levels. This does not mean food order is a magic trick, but it is a practical lever. The practical move is simple. Do not open your OMAD meal with sugar or fast starch. Start with protein and vegetables, then add healthy fats. Put smart carbs later in the meal. Think of the body's supermarket again. If sugar rushes through the front door first, the manager has to react fast. But if protein and fiber enter first, the shipment arrives with padding, structure, and instructions. That can make the whole system easier to handle. And if this detail makes you realize that OMAD is not only about what you eat, but the order you eat it, subscribe to the channel, because these small switches are where many people finally stop fighting their body and start working with it. The fourth pillar is healthy fat, but not unlimited fat. This is where many OMAD meals need balance, not extremes. Here's where fat gets misunderstood. Some people remove too much fat, while others add so much that the meal becomes heavier than they realize. If your OMAD meal is too low in fat, the meal may look clean, but it can feel incomplete. The body gets food, but the satisfaction signal may stay weak. You may feel unsatisfied. The stomach may be full, but the brain still does not feel fully settled. You finish the meal, the plate is empty, the eating window is closed, and technically the meal is done. But the brain still feels like something is missing. And this is why some people finish a very clean OMAD meal, then still keep looking around the kitchen. But the opposite mistake can also happen. The problem can swing from too little fat to too much fat added too easily. If your meal is very high in fat, even healthy fats can add up quickly because fat is dense and concentrated, and very high in carbs at the same time. The energy load can stack fast, especially when creamy fats and starches arrive together. It can become extremely energy dense. A small-looking meal can carry far more energy than it seems from the outside. One plate can quietly become 2 or 3 meals in disguise. A little extra oil, a handful of nuts, a creamy sauce, a large carb portion, and a sweet finish can turn one OMAD meal into a much heavier load. The answer is balance, not fear of fat, and not unlimited fat, just enough to support the meal without turning it into overload. Fat is not the enemy. Your body uses fat for cell membranes, hormones, and satisfaction signals. But fat is concentrated energy. A small amount can carry a lot, so the portion matters. Use it like a stabilizer, something that makes the meal feel complete and steady. Not like a free pass. Healthy fat still counts, and adding more is not always better. Avocado, olive oil, nuts, seeds. These can all work when the portions are intentional. Fatty fish, eggs. These also bring fat in a more complete food package, often together with protein. Add enough to feel satisfied. Enough that the meal does not feel sharp, empty, or unfinished, but not so much that the one meal becomes an overload. The goal is satisfaction, not a hidden calorie bomb. The fifth pillar is smart carbs. And this is important. Smart carbs are not the same as sugar all day. Not zero carbs for everyone. For some people, lower carbs may help, but for others, going too low can backfire. Energy drops. Sleep gets worse. Training feels harder. Cravings get louder. The sixth pillar is eating speed. This one sounds small, but it matters. If you eat your entire OMAD meal too fast, your stomach may receive the food before your brain fully receives the signal. The seventh pillar is movement after the meal. Not punishment, not intense training, just gentle movement to help the body handle fuel. A 2025 paper in Scientific Reports found, and the idea is simple. What happens after you eat can influence how the body handles glucose. That a 10-minute walk immediately after glucose intake was used as a simple movement strategy right after fuel entered the body. Lowered peak glucose compared with no walking in that study. The curve did not rise as high when walking was added. Again, this does not mean walking fixes everything. It is not a magic trick and it does not erase the meal, but it gives the body a place to send some of that fuel. Instead of leaving all that glucose waiting in the blood, movement gives muscles a reason to receive it. Muscles are not just for looking fit. They are active tissue and they help handle energy. They are glucose sinks. When muscles are active, they can pull in and use more of that fuel. When you walk after your OMAD meal, your body is not being punished. It is simply being given a signal to start using energy. The supermarket conveyor belt starts moving. More practically, your muscles begin asking for fuel and the glucose has somewhere useful to go. That is why a short walk after your one meal can be as simple as walking around the block, walking inside the house, or moving calmly for a few minutes instead of sitting down immediately. Can be one of the easiest upgrades to OMAD after 40, not because it is magical, but because it works with the body's natural fuel handling system. If you want the next video, I can show you what this looks like in real meals, not just theory. To be 7 real OMAD meal examples for people over 40, with protein, vegetables, healthy fat, smart carbs, and realistic portions. Subscribe and comment OMAD plate below. That tells me you want the practical meal examples next. OMAD is not for everyone. For some people, a 23-hour fast can be too stressful or unsafe without guidance. If you are pregnant, breastfeeding, underweight, your body has different nutrition needs, and OMAD may not be appropriate. Have a history of eating disorders? Fasting can become a risky trigger, even when it looks healthy from the outside. Have diabetes or take blood sugar lowering medication. Blood sugar can drop too low, especially when fasting windows are long. Have liver, kidney, heart, gallbladder, blood pressure, or thyroid issues. Your body may need a more careful plan than a simple internet fasting routine, or take medication that must be taken with food. Your eating schedule should match your safety needs, not just your weight loss goal. Talk to a healthcare professional before trying OMAD. The goal is not to force your body into a rule. The goal is to use the right tools safely.